I reminisce about the love we had. I reminisce about the love we had. Tender moments seem to go so fast. Reminisce, reminisce. I reminisce about the love we had. I reminisce about the love we had. A love so strong it will never pass.
Love Park.
Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
How you guys doing today? So today we're going to talk about fathers and daughters. And how strong father figures, have a positive or can have a positive impact on their daughters.
Yes.
But before we get started, let us introduce ourselves. Welcome to Love Park Connection, where we talk about the pains and pleasures of life, love, and relationships. My name is Angela Parker.
And I'm Pierre Parker.
We are a husband and wife, marriage and relationship coaching duo. We've been together 27 years. Actually, it'll be 28 this December.
Yep.
Together for over 30 years, and it's our goal to help Black couples love more, communicate more, and build healthy, long-term marriages and relationships. So, welcome you guys. So, like I said, today we're going to talk about fathers and the impact they have on their daughters. But we're going to talk about the positive impact. We're not going to go into a rabbit hole down the negative part. Because, of course, we got some fathers that,
We might end up touching on some of the negativity.
But, we want to focus on the positive impacts fathers, have on their daughters. And why it's important for fathers to be a part of their daughter's life.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to talk about. So, babe.
Yes.
When Tia first came along, what was the thing that I said to you that kind of resonated with you? Because, of course, Tyler was first.
Yeah.
And, being a little boy, raising a little boy is totally different than raising a girl.
Oh, yes, it is. Very much so.
So what was the first thing that I told you? Or not the first thing, but what is one of the things that I told you that resonated with you as she was, growing up and,
Yeah, well, you basically said, make sure that I'm always there for her, that I cherish her and all those things, because a father is one of the most important things in a daughter's life.
But I also said, at least I think I said, man.
Well, you said a whole bunch of stuff.
No, but one of the things that I do recall saying is that a father is usually their daughter's first love. Yeah. Their first, what it means to have, that male figure around.
Yes.
So I knew it was important from my own experience that having a father figure, a strong father in the home, will show her that she is protected, she's cherished, she's, valuable, and all those things are important because, as you know, when she goes out in the world looking for her mate, then that's what hopefully she will look at how her father treated her, and will find someone that will treat her, equally as good. Yeah. Again, for the good fathers.
For the good fathers, yes. Not them assholes.
No. So, setting a foundation in the relationship between you and Tia, I want to discuss the importance of the nurturing a father-daughter relationship in the early stages of her life. What was important what were some of the important learning or aspects that you wanted to pass on to her or show her as a male figure?
Well, one of the big things is that, I wanted her to understand, because I would always tell her that when growing up that, how important she is. You're important, trying to get her to understand value in herself. I would always, I'd take her a lot of places with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But, I always had her hand, and, I wouldn't really let her just run around, and, I was very, very, very protective of her. So, that to me was a big thing, that she can see that, her dad always has her back, and I had always tried to be there for her, and still there for her. I let her have her little bumps and bruises that she go through now as a 20-year-old, 24-year-old. But, dad is still always there.
Right.
But, I tried to instill in her the, important values of, like I said, just how important she is.
Right.
Don't just let guys come in and just talk to you any way they want to. And, just, those type of things. Always tried to, keep her, kind of put her on a pedestal, Of course, she wasn't on a higher pedestal than you, It was queen, there's the queen, and then there's the princess.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I just tried to always be there for her. And, we did all of the crazy little things. I did the tea parties and...
Yeah, but I also remember you letting her jump off the couch while you were sitting there.
It's nothing wrong with that.
You were falling asleep or you were sitting there playing video games. And
exactly.
I'd come in and she'd be sitting there, Mommy, Daddy let me jump off the couch
but if you
on the pillows.
That's right. If you notice, it was pillows all on the floor so that she could jump off the couch and bounce on the pillows, and she just jumped back up there and keep doing it over and over until she got tired. That's great parenting.
Right. At least you could keep an eye on her.
She was right next to me. Hey, either I was kind of taking a little nap and I could still feel her bouncing off the couch. With my eyes closed, or I'm sitting there playing a video game and she's getting what she wants and I'm getting what I want to do, what I want to do. See? Yeah.
So.
Great parenting.
Okay. So how do you think being an involved father instills confidence and security?
That's a good question, huh? Would I answer that? Well, being a great father and constantly, instilling in her values, I think that definitely builds her confidence. And
because I don't see Tia as having a lack of confidence. If she does, she hides it really well.
Exactly. And, and there's a fine line between, fathers, which I know I did. There's a fine line between spoiling them. We daddies, we spoil our daughters, our daughters, they spoil us at times, but we daddies spoil our daughters,
right.
And, out there getting her not everything she wanted, but, she got a lot of stuff that she wanted. And,
yeah.
Went through all the little basketball camps when she was doing basketball, the modeling stuff.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We put a dollar figure on the stuff that, oh, Lord.
I know.
All the extra overtime I was working for stuff, and, oh, Lord, the extra gigs I do to make, oh, Dad, can I do this?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and then become the basketball coach just to
keep an eye on her.
Yeah, and to be involved and all that stuff. Oh man.
Did. So we're going to, because you basically raised Tia, of course. And then
basically raised?
Well, you raised, I know, no, you know what I'm saying. You raised Tia, but you also have Jasmine, whom, you weren't able to be as hands-on with her.
Yeah.
So now that she's, you guys are very close, you guys have you formed your own, bond. You guys have come, 360 degrees. How do you feel now that she's in her 30s? How do you feel that you being the strong father figure, how do you feel that has impacted or can impact her life in future years? And as well as your granddaughter, because it doesn't just stop at, the father to daughter, but also the father to grandfather. So how would you...
Granddaughter.
Grandfather to granddaughter. Yes, sorry.
Yes.
So how do you feel that you can impact both their lives?
The Jasmine is an interesting one because she's she's so grown,
right?
So, and she has her own way, but she does come to me and ask me my opinion on things.
Yeah.
And but she a lot of times is going to do what she wants to do.
She does. Yes, she does.
So she'll ask my opinion, and I'll give it to her, and she'll seem like she's going to take it, and then she does what she wants to do.
Right.
But that's fine. That's independent woman and things like that.
Yeah.
But one thing she does know is that Dad is there whenever she needs her, whenever she needs me. And there's been times when she'd call me just to talk, or or she needs me to help her with whatever I can, and we take a trip up there and go do what we got to do.
Yeah.
But I think like I said, I didn't. It's different with her because I wasn't hands on. I wasn't around through a lot of the essential years of her life. Now, when she was born, I was right there.
Right.
And matter of fact, I was the first thing that she saw when she came out.
Right.
So our bond started then.
Right.
But then, over years, her mom and I split up, and that's a whole nother story for another time.
Right.
But there was like a good amount of time that I wasn't able to see her, and I wasn't able to put that influence into her.
Right.
So, so now we're establishing things, not now, but over the past maybe 15
years, something like that.
Yeah. Now we're establishing all of that stuff, and it's great. It's great, but like I said, not having that hands-on at the time did, it did make things a little bit harder as far as, just wanting to be the type of father that I wanted to be for her.
Right.
Like I was with Tia.
Right.
But Tia was here and with me every damn day. So
that's true. Because you were picking her up from school.
Oh, Lord, was I picking her up from school.
Picking her up, listening to all her stories every day.
Oh, yes.
So what about your relationship with Tori? How do you want, and as a grandfather, it's going to be different as a grandfather versus being the father. So how do you want to, going forward, what type of grandfather do you want to be to her? When she thinks of her wopa, what do you want her to see?
I want her to see a man that is always there for her, that will do whatever I need to do for her.
Okay.
A man that will cherish her and, take her and, wrap his arms around her and treat her just like my daughter. Someone that she never has to worry about.
Okay.
That I'm always going to be there,
Right.
So that's what I want her to see.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure she kind of sees some of that.
Yeah.
She saw another side of Wopa recently.
Yeah, not today.
Not today. She saw another side of it. I should tell that little story, huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So my granddaughter and I took her and we were out getting some frozen yogurt, and we're just having a good little time, and she sees this little machine with little rubber balls in it that, little bouncy balls in it. So she's like, oh, well, I want a ball. I want a ball. And I was like, no, you don't need one of those balls. You don't need one of those. We don't need that. So then we finished eating our yogurt. And then she's like, well, Pa, I want a ball. I was like, no, we got to go. We got to hurry up and go. I want a ball. So she goes and stands over next to the machine and is like, I want a ball. And so I was like, no, we got to go. Let's go, Tori. She's just going to stand there. So Wopa don't play that. Wopa left. Wopa left her up in there. I'm walking down the street. I don't give a damn. I'm walking down the street. Then so probably about 2 doors down, as I get farther down, here she come running up behind me, grabbing my hand with a little attitude. I'm like, well, why don't play that? I don't.
No temper tantrums here.
No
That's old school.
We're not having that.
That's old school. You get left.
You get
That's
left.
old school.
You being there by yourself.
We did that. Well, we did that to Tia.
We did that to Tia and Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, we did it to Tyler when he was younger.
We did it
to Tia when she was a teenager.
Wait, I did it. Well, no, I did that to Tia when she was younger too.
So she got it twice.
Because I guess she didn't learn.
Yeah, she learned after the one
in Costco. Yeah, she did. She did. She was like, "You guys just let." Well, we told you to come on.
Come on.
We're getting ready to go. So. Yeah. Another thing that I think is very interesting that I'm not sure, and I'm sure, I'm sure fathers do this, but is teaching your daughter how to protect herself.
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you tell them that one story?
Which one?
When you were picking Tia from, was it junior high or grade school?
Oh, when she got in a fight?
Yeah.
Oh.
So Pierre has always said, like I'm sure most fathers do, don't start the fight, but if she lays a hand on you, or he, then you have to protect yourself.
Yes.
And our daughter did that. Go ahead and tell that story, baby.
Yeah, so I would always work with my daughter on little fighting techniques and boxing and stuff like that. So one day I go to the school to go pick her up, and there's usually a line of cars, where people waiting to pick their kids up. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting in the line, and I'm looking down the street at the school, and I see all these kids run to the front of the school. And I'm like, oh, man, what's going on? It must be a fight or something. Wow. And they just going at it. I'm thinking, boy, these parents just don't be taking, I don't know what's going on. These parents ain't teaching their kids right. They don't need to be fighting. So they finally cleared all up. The cars move. I get up to the front of the school, and I'm sitting there, and my daughter, who is usually out there, but she's not there. So I'm like, wow, okay, maybe she's helping the teacher. Sometimes she would stay after and help the teacher clean up the room and stuff. So I'm sitting there, and I hear some kids talking about, man, Tia did blah, 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 and she got her and this and this and that. And I'm thinking.
But there's 2 Tias at that school.
Yeah, that's what. So I start thinking.
Which is unusual because Tia is not a common name.
Yeah, so I'm like, boy, that's crazy because Tia said that there was another Tia at the school. That's interesting. I guess that girl was getting busy, kicking somebody's butt. That's crazy. I'm telling you, these parents need to be talking to their kids and stop this stuff and let kids fighting. All of a sudden, I'm looking, and here comes the principal walking towards the car. And I'm like, Lord, please tell me that she's not coming in my car. She walks over to my passenger side, looks in the window and goes, are you Tia Parker's father? And I was like, yes. Well, we need you to come inside and talk right now because your daughter just had a fight with a young girl, and she beat her pretty badly. She pretty bloodied her up pretty badly. And I was like, oh, Lord God. So we go in there, and we're talking, and Tia's crying and stuff. And then I was like, and she was like, well, we're going to have to suspend her at least for a day. But, it really wasn't her fault. The young girl did kind of start it, but But we do have to, because it was in the front of the school, in front of all the parents, we do have to suspend her for a day. So I was like, all right. So anyway, we're on our way home, and she's like crying, and she's like, Dad, I did what you told me to do. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be fighting, boo. I told you not to fight. She was like, but I tried not to. And I told the girl, if you mess with me, she said, leave me alone because I'm trying to wait for my dad. I don't want to fight you. But if you touch me, I'm going to hurt you. And the girl decided to go up and push her, and then Tia just told me what she did. She said, Dad, I did what you said. I put my hands up in the boxing stance. She swung at me. I ducked under, and I came back with an uppercut and a hook, and I did this. And next thing, she was on the ground, and I was blah, 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 blah. And I was like, on the inside, I'm going, yeah, my baby handled her business. But on the outside, I got to be the responsible daddy, and I'm like, look, I told you not to fight. You're not supposed to fight. But then the funniest part is when I get home, we tell this one here. And I'm thinking, let your mama deal with this, because your mama gonna get you, have something to say to you. And then she goes, you got in a fight? Yeah. Did you win? I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to say.
No, so see, folks, we don't condone violence, but we also tell our daughter and our son that they have to protect themselves.
Yes.
So Tia just did what her daddy taught her. So we couldn't be too upset. But again, it goes back to that father figure. You took the time to teach her how to protect herself, not to necessarily fight, but to protect herself.
Yep.
And she did what she did what she was taught. She said, hey, I don't want to fight, but if you put your hands on me, then hey, it's open season. Again, we're not condoning, the fighting aspect, but we are condoning her protecting herself. And that's something that I probably wouldn't have taught her. So again, there's that strong father figure that you're like, hey, you're going to be out there. I can't always be there to protect you. So this is my way of protecting you. Just like you got her those little cat ear knuckle things. The little taser.
Taser and a couple little nice small little knives that she could. Yeah, I was making my daughter into a little assassin. I'm sorry.
But she also knows that how to handle that responsibly. So she's just not out there, acting wild, but she also knows that she has to, if she's out there as a young woman, she has to be able to protect herself. And that's important. So if someone were to come up and ask you, what do you feel is the most important part of being a strong father figure to your daughter? You just ask, young father, what is the most important thing that I need to teach my daughter, or I need to be that role model to my daughter? What would you tell him?
I would tell him to respect himself first, meaning, like I've talked about the whole gentleman thing. You need to be that first, because that's what she needs to see. She don't need to have an asshole trying to give her, tell her life instructions and all of these things, or tell her things about how to live life and all this. She don't need an asshole. She need a very responsible father to do this, and that means you have to have yourself together and trust yourself in order to be able to pass that on. Right. So that's what I would tell them, man. Make sure that your shit is together. Yeah. Because also on top of that, she's watching you. Yes. So she's watching the things that you do. And like we said before, she's going to base whoever she decides to be with, she's going to base it on the one man that's been in her life all this time. Right. And if you're a fuck up, excuse my language, but if you're a fuck up, I said it again, huh?
Yes, you did.
But if you're a fuck up for the third time, then you can't really tell her anything, and she's gonna, and then she's gonna go out and she's gonna be attracted, and that's what she's gonna be looking at,
right,
because that's what she's used to.
That's what she's used to. And also another thing that you've always been really good about is how you treat me. And
yes.
Especially in front of the kids. I mean, you treat me wonderfully, period, whether the kids are around or not.
That's right.
But you've always really shown, Tia, this is what how a man is supposed to be towards his wife. Mm-hmm. And you've shown Tyler, this is how you're supposed to treat your woman. Mm-hmm. And, whether they take it or not, they had that role model,
yes,
in their lives. Mm-hmm. And that's important, yes, because your daughters are watching how, as husband, as father, how you treat your significant other and your wife. Mm-hmm. So that's really important. And it's also about listening.
Yes.
And that's one thing we've had to have that conversation. I've had to tell you, listen before you say no.
I know.
And that, and it is, but you were also, we're from that generation where, our parents were the silent generation, so no was just a part of the vocabulary.
Yeah,
you just
no.
know.
You don't ask no question. You're like, okay.
You're right. And you probably get a no before you even got the whole sentence out. No.
Exactly.
So, and that's where I was trying to also, and this is where the mothers come along, should be coming along and saying, hey, babe, just, even if the answer is still going to be no, just listen to what they have to say.
See, you're the equalizer.
I am. What's the equalizer?
The equalizer.
Because, since we were brought up by that silent generation, I know I used to hate when first thing out of my father's mouth was no. And it's like, I didn't even get the sentence out. Can I at least get the sentence out? And you pondered for a second before you say no. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want them to feel that they couldn't come to you and at least ask a question before no came out your mouth, because then that'll keep you from wanting to ask, or talk to your father if they're just going to automatically say no before they've even heard it. So that was one of the things that you had to learn, and you learned. You did learn. It took some time, but you learned.
It took some time. Oh. Yes.
So that's one of the other things that, like you said, that equalizer. But you learned, and that's what's important, that you learned and you move forward. And a lot of times it was still no, but at least you gave her the opportunity to say what she needed to say or ask what she needed to ask.
Yes. Yes. Like I said before, raising a daughter is so much different than raising a boy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've said it before that, it was more, daughters like to do the more cerebral thing that just, they do things to make you start questioning yourself.
Am I crazy?
Am I crazy?
Because Tia was good at it. Tia was, I'd be like, did I say that?
Yeah. At an early age, at like 3. She got you question your own self. You like this?
Just like she used to tell us, my birthday is October 26th. And I'd be like, babe, she said it so many times, I started thinking it was October 26th.
I'm like, is it really? I mean, if we start thinking, we like
right, we had to rethink it. But, she was very, she even to this day, it's the mind. She's got that quickness with her own mind.
Yeah, and she was reading at a very young age.
Yes.
That was scary.
Yeah, she was reading pretty young. So another important thing about that father figure, and just some of the things that when I was just, I always try and do a little bit of research and background on how, especially with this one, how fathers impact their daughters. And one of the other good points is building resilience and emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. And so the impact of a strong father in helping their daughters develop emotional resilience and coping strategies in the face of challenges. And again, I think one of those coping strategies is how to protect yourself. You need to understand how to do that when your father's not around.
Yeah.
So that is important. And discussing the significance of a supportive father-daughter relationship in fostering emotional intelligence and empathy in a daughter's interaction with her romantic partners. And again, it goes back to what you were saying, is that your father figure, your father is the first man that you are interacting with.
Yeah.
And how he treats his daughter is what she potentially, not all the time, but potentially is going to look for in men, whether they're friends or whether they're romantic partners. So it's important for that father to be that kind, sincere, honest person.
Yeah.
That shows her, shows her love and shows her that she is worthy and she is valuable.
Yeah.
So
it's funny now that she'll call me and she's like, Dad, I such and such broke around the house and I had to try to fix it, and I'm used to you showing me these things how to fix blah 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 and blah blah blah. So and I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah, so she, even though we used to say this, even though we don't think our kids are listening to us, they turn around and they start doing things, and you're like, they were listening.
Yeah, like Tyler's the one that
right.
That really shocked me with
Right.
that one. That's another interesting story.
Yeah, we'll have to do a son mother one, mothers and sons. But yeah, Tyler was the other one who said, just because I'm not looking at you doesn't mean I'm not listening.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, son.
Just because you didn't think I was listening,
exactly.
I've always been listening.
He's always listening, yeah. So we gotta go ahead and wrap this up. So it's really important for the father to be supportive, loving, involved, because that really shapes your daughter's emotional well-being and self-confidence.
Yes.
And how she approaches her romantic relationships. So, you got to provide that secure, nurturing environment.
Yeah.
And just be there as a sounding board. Sometimes, and like I always tell you, and you're getting much better, sometimes we don't need you to fix it. We just need you to listen.
That's so hard.
I know it is.
That is so hard.
It is hard. I know.
We're fixers.
You are fixers, but sometimes the way to fix it is just to listen. Because even with your daughter, sometimes she'll just talk things through and she'll figure it out on her own. And you don't have to fix anything. You were just there to listen.
I know.
So remember that, gentlemen. Even with your daughters, sometimes you just need to listen.
Yeah. Another thing I got to tell fellas is the part where, and this, actually Tia and I was talking about this recently, and her roommate. Tia and I, we used to be big on going to see all the little action movies and the Marvel movies and all the superhero movies. That was our thing. We every Friday when it come out, I'd pick her up from school or wherever, we go see this stuff. So, she got older and different things like that. And we were still kind of going for a while. And then it was like one movie we were supposed to go, and this was like maybe 4 years ago. We were supposed to go, and then she just, out of blue, she's like, "No, Dad, I think I'm going to go see it with my friends."
Yeah.
And that was the end of it.
I know.
And I was like, my baby don't want to see no more movies with me no more. And that was it. And then we was talking about this, and I was telling her roommate that. And her roommate was like, "Oh, that's so sad." That is so sad.
I know. Well, one day she'll do a full circle. She'll be like, "Dad, let's go." So, but
we used to go to basketball games, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But she still called me and we talked about the Warriors.
Every day.
I know.
You talk almost every day.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
That's my mini-me.
That is. So everyone, we are ending it on that note. So hopefully dads, you guys have learned some stuff. You know, especially if you have young daughters, even if you have teenage daughters, it's never too late.
Oh, and the one that they really got to be ready for is the menstrual cycle.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, that story.
Yeah,
that's another story right there.
Yeah.
But that's another one, bro. My brothers. Oh,
Yeah.
you can't.
That's when you really have to have patience, and you really have to reevaluate and reassess.
Oh boy,
some things.
And the cool thing about that one was this one here and Tia have been actually waiting for that to happen because they wanted to see how I was going to react. So they really was waiting. And it oh Lord, yeah, it happened. And
It happened. It did. But you handled it. You handled it very well.
Did I?
I mean, as time went on, it became a little more. Yeah.
As the time went on that day, look.
If you didn't start drinking then you know. But thank you everybody for joining us. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Please remember to join our email list at loveparkconnection.com where you can get updates on my upcoming book, 30 Years and Counting. I'm still projecting it to come out December 9th, so I'm working on that. But please like, share, and subscribe. Join our email list again at loveparkconnection.com. And we'll talk to you guys again soon.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.